You just made the list.
It's called You Just Made the List. And what list are we talking about, Jared? It is Royal Rumble season. So, of course, we have to talk about the most shocking Royal Rumble eliminations in history. Now, we tried to come up with 5. We landed on 7. So we're going to quickly run through these shocking eliminations, all 7 of them. I think the first 3 are not debatable as far as the top 3 go. The other 4, I think you could kind of throw them in different orders. So we'll just talk about them. Let's throw out the first one, Jared. The first most shocking elimination is from 1999. Stone Cold Steve Austin seemingly headed for a 3-peat. And wouldn't you know it, Jared, Vince McMahon eliminates Stone Cold Steve Austin to win the 1999 Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I was so mad whenever that happened. I can just remember it, and it makes me mad all over again. It's that good. But yeah, man, I just remember how pissed I was.
And not only that, but Vince would go on to win the WWF Championship, which was, is what it is, I guess. But it just continued to fuel this Austin-Vince rivalry. Of course, you had The Rock come out and cost Austin, and they would ultimately main event WrestleMania that year. So, yeah, man, it just one more way to further that rivalry, and just one more shock TV thing, Jared. Like, that was the Attitude Era. It was shock TV, and the owner of the company winning the Rumble. I mean, hindsight's 2020. When you think about it, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, and we saw what happened, and yeah, it was great. I must say, as much as I hated it when it happened, I can honestly say now, looking back, that it was great.
Well, let me tell you something else. That when we look back on it at the time, speaking of Stone Cold Steve Austin, we were not happy with, and that is when Bret Hart clearly eliminated him from the 1997 Royal Rumble, but the referees didn't see it. So what did Austin do? He snuck back in the ring. He eliminated Bret Hart and was declared the winner of the 1997 Royal Rumble. We had some shenanigans on the way to WrestleMania, but Jared, that shocking elimination, we had never seen that before. Somebody get eliminated back in and then actually wins the thing, but it led to WrestleMania 13, the submission match between these two, the double turn, just
Yeah, other than Vince and Austin, Austin and Bret, I mean, that is probably my favorite feud of all time. I mean, I just love it. It didn't last as long as I wish it could have lasted, but it was great while it did last, man.
Yeah. It really was, for sure. Like, they definitely brought out the best in each other. They loved working with each other, ton of respect for each other. And again, that WrestleMania 13 match is just classic. But man, like that in the Royal Rumble, we had never seen that before. Like, I think that's what makes it be on this list for sure, as far as shocking goes, because it's something that was planned. That was part of the story. And as fans, we're like, wait a minute, that's not right. And that started that incredible run of Bret Hart, where he would come out and cut these promos and he'd be right about everything, Jared, but people would just start booing him out of the building.
Yeah, just like we see Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre doing now.
Yeah.
But I remember, again, memories. I remember whenever that I watched that happen, and I was just so stunned. I was just like, and I was waiting to see, like, for somebody to say, no, there was a mistake made. We must restart the match, but they never realized that Austin had already been eliminated.
Never happened. Never happened. No. Vince McMahon is going crazy on commentary. Everybody's just going nuts. So like, this is not right. This is not right. And all the referees, literally none of them saw it. Oh, he's the winner. He's the winner. It's wild. I tell you what, referees' vision, just something needs to be checked. Let's talk about something else that we had never seen, made it shocking. The Royal Rumble 1995. Only one of Shawn Michaels' feet hit the floor. He pops back in the ring after the British Bulldogs music is already playing, dumps him over the top rope. Shawn Michaels, not only shockingly, goes over the top rope and one foot hits the floor, but shockingly, Jared becomes the first wrestler to ever win from the number one spot in 1995.
Are you a believer that Shawn's feet did not both actually touch? Because I remember watching that, and his little legs just a dangling, and you're trying to watch and like from every angle. Of course, it doesn't matter how you move your head because the TV is fixed, but you're sitting there like you're trying to see. And I swear, man, I couldn't tell you whether they both hit or not, because I mean, you just couldn't tell the way he was moving his feet.
I'm a firm believer that only one of his feet hit the floor. It just seems like because I feel like they showed it at a couple of different angles. Because I feel like Bruce Pritchard has talked about this before, like that they weren't going to show anything if his foot just happened to hit, because they eliminated him on that specific side where the hard camera, the opposite the hard camera, so where they didn't have to show it. But then they went back and they showed it repeated times that his foot didn't hit. So yes, I'm a firm believer that Shawn Michaels pulled the unthinkable. Of course, I'm a firm believer of that. Are you kidding me? You're asking.
I'm not.
Okay, well, it wasn't The Rock and the Big Show in 2000 or whatever it was. But okay, so let's go. That was supposed to happen. Austin and Bret was supposed to happen. Let's talk about a shocking elimination that wasn't supposed to happen. And that was John Cena and Batista in 2005. They spill over the top rope at the exact same time. Jared, ironically, they hit the ground at the exact same time unintentionally, like accidentally on purpose. They could not have planned that any better. And that's what makes it the most shocking is watching it. You would probably think, oh, that was supposed to happen, and they restarted it, and Batista won. And then looking back on it, we hear, nope, they screwed that up. That wasn't supposed to happen. That's what makes this one shocking.
So I wonder what the actual finish was supposed to have been. Like, they're in that spot, and they both go over. So, I mean, what went wrong? What was supposed to have happened? Do you know?
John Cena did an interview, I think it was on Logan Paul's show, a couple of weeks ago, and took blame for it. I don't know if he went into detail and explained what was supposed to happen, but they asked him specifically about it, and he took blame for it. So I have to go back and listen to it just to make sure. But I would assume that he was up there and that Cena was trying to, maybe he was supposed to stop on the apron and his feet got tangled up in Batista's shoulders and the rope gave way. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. All I know is we got two torn quads out of the deal and just a wild scene that
and neither one belonged to either one of those two guys.
That's the fascinating part about the whole thing.
Oh,
the torn quads belong to the same person who wasn't involved in the match. Hey, pal, how did this happen?
I'll never forget Vince sitting in the ring and giving orders, and I'm just sitting there watching like, what is going on? There he is.
And listen, for those of you who have not seen this match, if you're watching on our YouTube channel, I'm showing you the picture. Jared's not lying. You see Vince sitting in the ring right there. It's because he can't get up. If you go back, if you go back and watch it, I'm fairly certain, Jared, that he tries to get up and he cannot get up.
No. Nope. I was very confused, to say the least.
Oh, shoot. All right. Well, those are 4 of the most shocking eliminations of all time. Jared, I think we're pretty settled on what the top three are. Let's hit the first of those top three right now. And that is 1992. Hulkamania gets tossed over the top rope in a rumble that was for the world championship. He was tossed over by Big Psycho Sid. Man, you had to think in our little minds, the world championship's on the line. Hulk Hogan is winning this thing. Not so fast, my friend. Big Sid throws him out.
Yeah. And then Hulk grabs a hold of Sid and yanks him out.
Pulls him out. Ric Flair just gets to lay there and win the championship.
Yep. I mean, our American babyface, because of his poor sportsmanship,
yes,
grabs a hold of Psycho Sid and yanks him out. And we're supposed to be like modeling ourselves after this man. Yeah.
We
be
are.
A sore loser, kids.
But yet there was a big pop when he got thrown out by Sid. So we were on the downhill of Hulkamania at that point. So like I get it, but still, it just 1992, man, just did not see that coming. So that's shocking elimination. Let's go to number 2. And that happened in 2020 when Brock Lesnar entered the Royal Rumble at number 1, eliminated the first 12 guys pretty quickly. He was the world champion. He deemed that nobody on the roster was fit to face him for that title. So he was in the Rumble and eliminated by Drew McIntyre. Jared, you had to think that Brock probably wasn't going to win this Rumble, because where would the story be if the champion just won the Rumble? But that didn't make it any less shocking when Drew McIntyre claymored him over the top rope.
Yeah, and man, I would have just loved to have seen what would have become of Drew's first title run if it wasn't for the pandemic.
Yep. Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, you even predicted it, I think, almost a year before it actually happened, because I remember on this podcast, in a previous iteration of the podcast, posing the question to you, Jared, who in the world is going to beat Brock Lesnar? Who would you put him up against? Oh, well, I think you do Drew McIntyre. I think Drew McIntyre's the guy. And then, by cracky, you were right.
That's why you should always listen to me.
We'll leave that comment alone. All right. Let's move, or maybe I should just tell your wife that you said that and see how she reacts. Anyway, let's move into number 1, the most shocking elimination of all time. And this is number 1. Oops. This is number 1 with a bullet. There is nothing close to the number 1 most shocking elimination of all time. Tough Enough winner Maven eliminates The Undertaker in 2002. Obviously, Jared, the company had faith in Maven being the first Tough Enough winner. Nothing happened to him after that. But man, eliminating The Undertaker in the Rumble, holy cow, what a moment.
Nothing happened to him after that. That pretty much sums up Maven, man.
I think he was tag team champions with Al Snow for a hot minute after that, but it just
I think so. Yeah. And I mean, looking back, dude, why would they have thought it was going to work out? I mean, looking at Maven's character, I never really saw anything there. I don't know.
I mean, he's got a decent look. He's got a really good physique, but like, other than that, he was athletic, I guess, but I think honestly, like that Tough Enough, not to go down a rabbit hole with that, but that Tough Enough, I think it was really like the lesser of two evils. It's like, well, this guy's probably not going to work. This guy's probably not. I guess we got to pick this guy. And then, well, we've invested in him. We had him on a reality show. We may as well try to do something with him. And then it just didn't happen.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. Yeah, sadly.
All right, that is the most shocking Royal Rumble eliminations of all time. Again, check out the rest of the stuff on our YouTube channel. If long-form episodes are not for you, just make sure to check out our playlist where we've got shortened videos. Check those out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That helps us a ton. Doesn't cost you a thing. It means more than you will ever know.